Hello, 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 hello. How are you doing? Happy Sunday. And it's been such an interesting evening. So we're going to wait for quite a number of people to join us. It is, the the finals of the World Cup, and it's been such an interesting final match. Absolutely almost unpredictable how the match in itself has gone, but it is so exciting to be here. So if you are with us already, let us know where you're joining us from. Let us know where you're joining us from. So I'm just going to wait for a few more minutes so that we have more people join us on the call. Okay. So we're just gonna wait. So, but then if you're joining us, let us know where you are joining us from. Where are you joining us from today? Hi, Paul. Good evening. How are you doing? Hi, everyone. Hi. Let us know where you're joining us from. We just saw the finals of the World Cup. So are you Team Argentina or are you Team France? Right? It's been such an eventful World Cup final. So let's know which of the teams you supported and if your team won. But it is such a great way to end the World Cup. I was supporting Argentina, so yeah, we won. We won. All right. So hello everyone. Hi Chika. How are you doing? Paul, it's so good to have you here. We're going to get right into it because I know that it's going to be a great one. So I cannot wait to bring you on board. And today we're going to be talking about leading and winning, how to make explosive sales in this festive season. And I cannot wait for you guys to start getting all the juice from this. So you want to go get your notepad very quickly, grab a pen, because there will be so much to learn from tonight's session. And today we have no other person other than Paul Fo. Paul Fo is a sales coach, he's an author, he's a writer on Forbes.com. He's the CEO of Sales Factory, and he has offices in Lagos, in London, and then in Dubai. And he is Africa's #1 sales coach. So guys, go grab your pen and notepad because it's about to get really hot here. So I'm going to bring on Paul very shortly, but then this is one live session that you don't want to miss. So you want to send out the link to this session to your friends so that they can join us. I know that people are just getting out of all the excitement from the World Cup, so please get them, because it's time for us to now start winning our own cups in our personal lives and then our businesses. So I'm going to bring Paul in now, and we're going to get right into it. And you can just use this time to grab your own pen, and then we will be right here with you. Hi.
Hi.
Hi,
Hi.
Paul. How you doing? I'm fine.
Hey, how are you?
Team Argentina or Team France?
I don't watch football. That's the thing.
you know, if,
So I don't know what's going on.
So I was like, hey, do we move this live or what? So when I learned that, you know what? Let's go with it.
My son
Hi,
wants to explain. So what do you
how
want
are
to explain?
you?
Tell them.
How you
So,
doing?
Hello.
so tell me about the football.
Okay, let me just shorten it out for you. So
Right.
Okay.
here's what happened. Messi scored a penalty and Di Maria scored a goal.
So what happened to France?
France in the second half they
Oh
scored 2 goals.
wow! Oh wow! That is incredible. You play football, right? Ah.
Yeah, and then the match went to extra time, and then Now, I don't know who
Okay.
won yet.
Please help me update your dad.
Whatever.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Paul, it is so good to have you here. Absolutely so good to have you
Thank
here.
you.
We're coming on quite a journey together, and we're always excited to have you. This is the second time you're coming on Leader X, and we do not take it for granted. The first session was explosive. It was explosive, right?
Yeah.
And we're also partnering with, Sales Factory to see that more entrepreneurs are able to have access, to resources that can absolutely help them transform their lives. And it's interesting that this is happening at the end of the year so that 2023 can be what? Explosive, or like no excuse at all, right? So
Yeah.
we're, we're, we're,
At all.
we're so glad to have
At
you
all.
here, Paul. All
Thank
right.
you.
All
Thank you.
right.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for what you're doing with your. I love the way you transition your coaching business to
Thank
technology.
you.
That is, it speaks volume
Mm.
about what you see in the
Thank you
future.
so much.
I mean, look at what Chat GPT is doing now with writing, where very soon the job of a copywriter is going to be really, really threatened. Because the people really know how to maximize those tools. We're living in
We are.
extraordinary
We are.
times. It's just that I don't think people are seeing what is
I
happening.
mean, a lot is happening.
That's the only challenge.
A lot is.
Yes. And the good thing about it is that it is location independent. It doesn't matter the location where
Absolutely.
a person is. If you know how to manipulate the tools that we have in our resources, we can do extraordinary things with our lives.
Absolutely. And it's one of the reasons that I am really also very, very excited about this session that we're having today, because it's important that we're having that, perspective shift as we go into the new year. Enough of the stories, of the stories. So we're going to get right into it. Guys, I told you to get your notepads and your pen. So if you haven't done that yet, I don't know, I wish you well. So, Paul, we're talking about leading and winning, right? And we're also going to be talking about how people can make explosive sales in this festive season. Now, when we talk about leading and winning, right? What we expect to, or what people expect, is to see results, right? So you're a leader. How do we know you're a leader? It's by the results. You're winning. How do we know you're winning? It's the result. But even though we're about the result, because that absolutely makes the difference, we cannot let go of the process or processes that produce the results that gets us to leading and winning. Okay? And then when we talk about sales too, beyond the products, we're talking about services, we're even talking about the human brand. So I want us to be able to, have this conversation covering all those perspectives. And, I want us to start with this, right? Because Leader X is a resource that is targeted for professionals, entrepreneurs, and people who are progressive, really, people who want to achieve greater results, build their leadership skills, and just develop greater results in their personal lives and then their professional lives. Now, this festive season is one that, everybody looks forward to. Hey, December is here. Everybody wants to make sale. Oh, discount, promo. You start to see so many things flying here and there. Now, what exactly should we be focusing on, right? And I want you to help me with this in two parts. What exactly should we be focusing on? Should all our attention be on, oh, December is coming, right? Christmas is coming, then I can make explosive sales? Or what exactly is the mindset that we need to, embody that helps us become people who can actually achieve results year in, year out?
Fantastic. That's a very good question. It's a good question. I also believe that the mindset of saying you just want to make sales this season and go back to your default state of not making sales a lifestyle is also not good. This season should help you fill up your pipeline so that Q1 you are busy. It's just that I don't have the way to show. I would have shown you my calendar for 2 clients that have booked me from January to April sales training, because the work to be booked for Q1, first quarter of the year, you have to start that work now. So this is why sometimes some people enter a new year, they are confused because they didn't fill up the pipeline in this season. So let's not be limited by only this time. This is a short window of time. By December 31st, all of this up and down will end. But you will eat in January, in February, in March. So this is the time for you. All those clients that says to you, oh, let's talk in December. You should start having those conversations now. Those clients that say to you, let's talk in November. You should start having these conversations now, because a lot of time, small business people, we don't play a long game in terms of sales. We want the sale now. I tell some people, when you were in August, the clients that will feed you in December, you should have started talking to them. So once you enter December, you have it, because once you don't have a robust pipeline, you are threatened, you are scared. Fear comes when nobody is calling you, or you don't have anybody to even call to buy. That's where the fear comes. That's where the fear comes. But if your pipeline is full, you are having conversations, you will know that Q1 is taken care of. I have a robust pipeline that I am talking to. So we can go into the strategy of how to make sales this season. But I always say to people, work on Q1. Very, 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 very important. Because you will pay salary, you will take care of all other bills, but you need to start those conversations now. Yes.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Yeah. So pipeline building is very, very important. You know, knowing that. So I absolutely agree with you, because I say, if I'll be hungry in March, I already know by, November, know already, because there's nothing in the pipeline. So pipelining is very, very important. And I also love that you talk about these from the perspective of having a lifestyle around it, so that it's not just a seasonal thing. Like you said, bills will be paid in January. You're going to pay staff all through the first quarter. So what exactly are you going to be sustaining that business on if you haven't made adequate, plans? But, we're going to now come to this festive period, Paul. Is it too late for people to still make explosive sales? Today is the 18th already. Is there still any magic at all? And if there is, what can people do?
Well, I am not a magician. I will just share certain ideas that people may want to try. Even if it doesn't work now, you may carry it over to January. Certain few things. Now, it also all depends on the industry that the person is in. One simple thing that everybody can actually do now is, if you have a database of all the customers that have bought from you during the year, you can look at that database. This is the time to call all of them to say, thank you for doing business with me during the year. Can you refer me to somebody? That is one strategy. Because there are 3 ways to grow a business. You either increase the number of customers you have, or you increase the size of transactions that the customer do with you, or you increase the frequency in which the customer comes back to do business with you again. Now, I want you to say that I don't want people to forget this. It's a very powerful framework. I like thinking in frameworks. It's a good mental model. There are 3 ways to grow your business. Never forget this. Increase the number of customers that you have. 1. 2. Increase the size of the transaction. In other words, instead of them to buy only 1, make them buy 2. Number 3, instead of them to buy something from me once a year, how can you make them buy something for you 3 times in a year? That is, increase the frequency of the purchase.
Yeah.
Did you get that? So if you pick up your phone and call all the customers that bought things from me in the last 6 months, if you really painstakingly call all of them, I mean, these are not cold calls. They are warm leads. They know you. You know them. You have done work with them before. If you've done business with 50 people or 100 people, if you are disciplined enough to call all of them, not all of them will refer you. But if 50% of them refer you to their friends, that is 25 people. You have gotten 25 extra prospects. And if you follow up on those 25 extra prospects and you close 10% of that, you have increased your sales by 10%. But you know the funny thing, many people will not painstakingly do this thing. That is where the problem is. And they, as simple as this instruction is, to increase the number, because what happens is that if I refer you to somebody that I know that you don't know, I have increased the number of customers that you have. Or this is the time whereby, if you don't want to make that one, if you are a speaker or coach or whatever, this is the time for you to volunteer to speak in certain communities or places for free. Because that way it will expose you to a new set of markets. And if you are good at what you do, it will increase your conversion rate to get new customers. Because one thing you must be obsessed with is, how do I get a new customer? Peter Drucker said that the purpose of a business is to create a customer. So if you're not intentionally creating new customers, then you're going to have problems. So it's critically important. You want to look for a way to get new customers. Some of you are in WhatsApp communities. Nobody know what you do. Pick up the phone. Thank God in WhatsApp, the numbers are not locked. You can see the numbers now before WhatsApp will upgrade their algorithm. By next year, you can just download all those numbers and call. Just call. Kevin, do you know that I have a CRM? That was how I sold the first 1 million of that CRM.
It's Sales Tracker, right? Sales Tracker.
Yes, Sales Tracker. That's Sales Tracker. I'm telling you, the first 1 million that we made from that CRM, I picked up the phone and called everybody from WhatsApp groups that I belong to. Can you see this now? So I'm not telling you what I'm not doing. These are WhatsApp groups that I belong to before the team began to get into other platforms of sales. But you have to start the first initial work. Many people in WhatsApp groups here, they have never picked up the phone to call people in those communities. So that is one way of increasing your customers. Now, next point is, in this season, you want to make sales, you want to increase the size of what people buy from you. Now, how do you do this? So I give an example. So this is a tripod stand. I want to show them how to increase the size. Let's say somebody comes to you and says they want to buy a phone this season. You sell phones. Don't just sell the phone to them. Because a good salesperson asks questions. If I may ask now, what do you use the phone for the most? Oh, I use phone to create content. Do you know that you can also buy this to put this? Because this is the next logical step the person will take. Because they don't buy this thing from you, they will definitely buy from somebody else. So if this thing is 20K, the guy bought the phone from you for 300K, you have made 320,000 naira. So you have increased the size of the transaction. That is what some people call cross-selling. You are cross-selling. You can also increase the transaction by upselling. Somebody comes to you and say they want to buy a particular Samsung phone. They have 300,000 naira. You tell them they buy the Samsung 2.5 with an extra 30,000 naira. These and these are the benefits of that Samsung 2.5. You're getting an extra 30,000 naira because you have upsold the person. And many people don't do that. If you go to any shop here in the UK, as you buy anything, they will ask you, do you want to buy? You will say the bag. No, it's not me.
I don't want bag. I'll carry my bag from.
Or they always ask you, is there anything else? That question is a trigger. It's a powerful question. Many people don't ask that question because questions direct the brain. Somebody buys something from your store, you ask the person, is there anything else? You are persuading the brain to go into their memory and say, I won't buy something else before. But because if they don't buy it from you, they must buy it from somebody else. That way, you increase the transaction value. Next, how do you increase the frequency of the purchase? That's another important question. For example, in my business as a coach, as a recruiter, I used to do one-off. I will train and then I will just go. One day I'll ride my bicycle. The Spirit of God gave me an idea. Instead of just do train on one-off, why don't you tell the clients, come up with something, they pay you every single month, you're on a retainer. You're on a retainer, and then if they hit a particular number of sales, you get a percentage on the upside. This year alone,
wow.
one client gave me 2 million extra.
Wow.
One client gave me 2 million extra after paying me for 4 months working with his team. But they smashed all their target. They gave me 2 million extra. So what have I done? By the monthly thing, I've increased the frequency of the purchase. So you should sit down with your team, whether you're a small business or you sit yourself, you want to ask yourself, in what way can we increase the frequency of the purchase? I use LeaderX. If there's a paid version, if the payment part of LeaderX says that I will pay every single month, and in LeaderX, as long as LeaderX is increasing the value they're giving to me, the frequency of the purchase has increased every single month. I just put it in my Apple account, it just rolls on its own. So those are 3 critical. Amazon does it. Amazon Prime, you pay, I think is it £6 I pay now with Amazon Prime? If I buy a product today, they will deliver it to my house tomorrow. So because so Amazon is making money from me, apart from the sales that they are making, they're making money from membership in the Prime. So you see how these people are thinking. The frequency of purchase is there. It's there. What are they also doing? When they want to deliver the product to you, they will deliver with the Amazon truck. So as they come to your neighborhood, your neighbors are seeing this Amazon thing, this Amazon thing. Other people want to also buy. So it's a lot of psychology if you walk around these 3 frameworks. Increase the number of customers, increase the size of transaction, increase the frequency of the purchase. Increase the frequency of the purchase. You know, so there's a lot of dimension we can go around that. So that's a good framework for people to go use this season. But I want to say it again. In this season that we are in, it's not a season to be lazy with ideas. Because ideas are everywhere. It's just that people don't implement on those ideas. And your bank account has shown, if you're watching me right now, that you didn't take enough action. You had a strong bias of listening, but you didn't have a strong bias of doing. So the scale is tilted towards the receiving and not to the doing. So your doing was like, your receiving was like this, but your doing was like this.
Wow. Wow. Absolutely amazing, Paul. And, you know, so guess the next question I was going to ask you. I was going to ask about the psychology of sales. And, you know, you already hit on it already. Now, so I'm going to pause a little bit and then come to, you know, so you have spoken about those 3 key dimensions, right? And one of the things that really stood out for me when you spoke about that is how people truly have to get to that point where they can open their minds. Now, you know, for some people, it may be difficult to understand how to bring that dimension of subscription to service. Okay, so it's just that one-off, you know. They can think of, oh, okay, if you want to buy food, for example, people will keep coming for food. But then there are so many, like you say, ideas that are hanging around, you know, around that we're not doing anything about it. Okay, so being able to understand this concept and know that you can transfer the essence of this concept to almost anything that you do or any business that you are involved in will make an absolute difference for you. So, you know, guys, have that at the back of your mind. So don't be, you know, too narrow-minded about this to say, I know it won't work for my business. If you have that thought on this call right now, I want you to, you know, just catch that thought and throw it out, because it is not the thought that you want to go into the new year with. So you have to go into that new year with a lot of openness in your mind to say, oh, how can this work for me? Not, oh, it will not work for me. How can this work for me? How can this work in my business? How can I adopt this? And, you know, the more you're asking yourself those kind of questions, it opens up your mind to start seeing possibility. You know, when we started out with Leader Expo, I didn't quite see anything like that on the market, right? But then I had that idea and I was thinking about how do we bet this? So guess what? We came up with something that was like 2.5 years back. We built the app. But Paul, if I tell you the app, even you will be embarrassed on behalf of me, right? But then it was a good step to say, oh, you know what? This is actually possible. We can do this. And with more information, you know, being in the right circles, more research, you know, meeting the right people that can actually bring that idea to life, we were able to create and build something. So, and of course, we're building something that is subscription based that keeps, you know, people wanting to come back. So, guys, do not be quick to say it doesn't work. You know, try it out and then okay, Cherry says a replay of this. Okay, oh yes, so you need to watch this over and over again. Now, Paul, the next question I want to ask you is on the psychology of sales, because you said, in fact, almost everything you have said is deeply rooted in psychology, right? You go to the store, somebody's upselling, somebody's cross-selling. It's all about psychology, and it does something to you. Now, there is a psychology to sell, right? And what are those key elements of that psychology to sell that people have to go into the new year with? What are those key traits? Yeah.
Very good. So psychology has to do with psyche, the mind. And if you look at it, all our behavior flows from a belief. Everything that we do is a story that we tell ourselves. If anybody is watching me here, if you ever have a domestic driver that stole money from you, the driver's not a bad person. No? The driver told himself a story, say, Madam, get past me. It's a story that we're telling ourselves. The first place for change to take place is once you change the narrative, which is the psychology. The action is just a mirror. That's why some spiritual teachers will say that as within, so without. So a lot of times our outside is a mirror of what's going on the inside. So yeah, certain psychological things that you need to install, because you have to install it by yourself. The Bible will always say, put on joy, put on peace. So you have to do it yourself. The first psychological thing you need to put going into the new year is, if I don't hunt, I don't eat. First psychology.
If I don't hunt, I don't eat.
One, but
hunger. Hey!
If I don't hunt, I will not eat. You know, Kemi, you know, I mean, I live both in Lagos and in the UK. The weather is very cold right now. And I was telling my wife, I say, this is the reason why these people, they hustle. The weather is not friendly. This cold can kill you if you don't work out. It's terrible. It is.
Almost -5?
No. Yes. Right now, so I went outside to go and get milk so I can make tea before the class. I could see how cold. I saw a guy who is homeless. I said to her, how do these guys cope in this cold, man? So you need to have that mentality that, look, if you do not hunt, you will not eat. You know, Kemi, you know the funny thing? Look at anybody who's so popular on Instagram that you see that has a lot of followers. If that person stops posting for 1 week, it will not be more. Many people will not ask them, why have you not posted? People really don't care like that. Too. Hey, Jesus Christ. And I've been coaching some people recently. The two people that I've coached recently, they told me something. They said, Coach, the moment I stopped showing up, my sales went down. When they said that, I say it just reaffirms my hypothesis that, look, if you don't hunt, forget it, you will not eat. It is either you are hunting or somebody, your team is hunting, or you have an evergreen content that is haunting on your behalf that you are promoting. In other words, there must be force that you are putting behind it. If you don't hunt, forget it, you're not going to eat. That is the first mentality. First sales psychology you must put in your head that, look, if I don't show up in any way, shape, or form, when I go to that event, I exchange card, if I don't put any form of motion,
okay,
I'm coming. Let me get my charger. My phone battery is going low. If I don't put any form of motion, I will not see any results. Once a person has that mentality, that person has started participating in their own deliverance. That's the first thing. If you don't hunt, you don't eat. If you don't ask for the sale, forget it. You see, Kemi, 9 times out of 10, no matter how good you are, people like, I've heard some good things about you. Someone was telling me about yourself in the UK. No matter how nice you are, most people will not just come there and say, Kemi, they think about you. If I give you this contract, we're going to do leadership. No, you need to ask.
That's it.
You understand me? Now, we all believe in God, right? We believe in what God can do. We believe in grace. When grace meets you as you are hunting, it's a very beautiful thing. It's a very beautiful thing. But have that mentality first that if I do not hunt, I will not eat. That's the first mentality. Second mentality to have in sales is there are no failures. There is only lessons and feedback. Because, Kem, if I tell you how many people this thing stops, you'll be surprised. Many people say to me, I don't go live on Instagram because I don't know what to say. I don't want to embarrass myself. I don't want to call this client. I don't know what to say. I don't want to embarrass myself. Because they think that if it doesn't go well, they have failed. No, you did not fail. It's called an iteration. You are iterating the product. You are the product. If you don't get that feedback, because whenever you put yourself out there, you are walking in public. And when you walk in public, you are scrutinized by the eyes. Some people can't take it. That's the problem. They cannot take it. That's the problem. So you got to believe that, look, if I don't hunt, if I don't eat, and there are no failures, there is only feedback. The only way for me to know what I'm doing is good or not is the feedback I get. If I'm not making sales, sales is a scoreboard that shows whether I'm scoring or not. And I was talking to someone, the person said to me that, the person said, I asked the person, so why do you want to achieve this? The person called every other reason apart from money. He said, I don't like talking about money like that. And I gave him a new mental model. I say, don't see it as money. You want to sell 1,000 copies of a book, right? The guy said, yes. If you sell only 5 copies of your book, right? What you said is that only 5 people you impacted. So your scoreboard is 5 over 1,000. It's a light bulb just went up. See it as keeping score. That the more sales you make, the more impact your business made during the year. Once you see it that way, those are good mentality that you can go with. Number 3, sales is a learnable, transferable, and portable skill. You need to believe that this thing called sale, I can learn it. Just like a footballer will practice before they go and play, this thing called sale, I can practice it before I play. For example, Kikemi, when I wake up in the morning, I write over 220 words every morning. The purpose is so that my copywriting skills is very good. I call it a mental dump. It is my way of sharpening the edge. I make over 20 sales calls every day. Some of them don't go well, but it's my way of sharpening the edge. So now when I say to people, I couldn't read until I was 12. Yes. So believe that, hey, you can learn this skill and feedback is good. And if I don't hunt, I don't eat. Once I have that mentality, forget, you will enter the market. Those are 2 mindsets, 3 mindsets that you need to have going into 2020.
It's important and absolutely spot on. If you don't hunt, you don't eat. right? If you don't hunt, you don't eat. There's no, I always say to people that you're not the Messiah people are looking for. You know, to now say, oh, because I have this skill, oh, I have this idea, right? People, a lot of times, will look for what is available. So it will not matter what you think you have. If you're not in a place where they can see you, you know, constantly top of the mind, it's just a matter of time. You know, it's just a matter of time. And you know, it also talks strongly about the fact that people have to be, you know, responsible for the actions they want to achieve. So we have to take responsibility going into this new year that truly, you know, if you're not calling people, the more calls you make, the more the probability that you get a yes. Right? Paul, you know, when I started out in business, I had a nice office. I took all the money I saved, you know, a big girl in Lagos. And what happened was that at some point we couldn't meet up with our obligations anymore, right? And when I went back to the drawing board, I saw that there were personal issues that I had to sort out. So, for example, when I went out to a client, when I called and then somebody told me no, it felt like it was a personal rejection, right? So I would just carry myself and then sob and think about it and, you know, just go on. And then I don't make that call again, right? I'm like, hey, this one doesn't want, you know, even this one self won't want, don't worry, right? So it took me, you know, it took me taking personal responsibility to say, truly, if I don't hunt, I won't eat. So the shame disappeared. And I'm like, for my business, I don't have to yeah. So you have to truly get to that point where you take personal responsibility and start to, you know, create the result that you want. You also talk about the fact that no failure, only lessons. Paul, everything you have said tonight, I can personally, you know, relate with it. I can personally relate with it. You know, a few months back, I was looking at some folders on my laptop. I saw the numbers of programs and ideas that I put out there that did not even see the light of day, right? Some that we marketed, you know, I saw one particular program that almost 3-4 times. I marketed up like almost 7-8 years ago. Nobody even asked what they say, right? But what it did was that I started building the confidence and courage to see what is working, what's not working. I was testing the market and then using that feedback to improve the product, improve the brand. So truly, no failure, only lessons. And that sales is learnable. I say, whenever you hear that it is a skill, know that it is learnable.
Yes.
Leadership is a skill. Because I can only, I don't know how to talk. I'm not a salesperson. If it is called a skill, right, you can learn it. I like that you say it is learnable, it is transferable, and it is portable. Great stuff for as in like guys. Hey, you need to come and, you know, see us at the at the back of the camera, because there's so much that Paul is giving out, and it's really amazing. Now, Paul, let me ask you, because I know you have said quite a number of things that help you, you know, build your own muscle. Because the next question I actually want to ask is, what are those things personally that you deploy, those tools you deploy personally that keep you committed, that keep you focused, that keep you in a place where you constantly want to take action year in, year out, you know? So I know that I started seeing your videos like maybe when I was still crawling, right? And the energy is unmatched. Okay, so what are those things that keep you motivated? Because for some people will say, oh, you know, maybe I'm not motivated enough, or maybe I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And the challenge sometimes is not even not knowing what they're supposed to do, is that they're not taking the actions. So what are those things that keep you motivated? What are those things that keep you energized, that keep you focused, you know, year in, year out?
Okay, good. Thank you very much. That's a very good question. So the year has ended, as it were. I mean, Christmas is here. And Kev, if you ask a lot of people, December 31st last year, January 1st this year, where their goals are, some of them have never revisited those goals. Kevin, let me tell you something that will really interest you. I told someone that's your friend, your very good friend, Ella. You know,
Ella sent me goods today. Ella sent
No, she's an amazing person. She's amazing. I said to Ella shouted, I said, I was listening to a podcast, Chris Williamson's podcast. He said that they did a study on LinkedIn, that there are over 2,000 LinkedIn profiles that have the word strategist, strategy. And there are less than 200 that have the word execution. Execution.
We are not strategizing. So what else?
Are you seeing it? Now, let me add something else to it again in Nigeria. I was listening to Patu Tomi on Arise TV. Patu Tomi was talking about the manifesto of a government. Patu Tomi said in this Nigeria, there are certain presidents, after they've been in power for some time, when people now answer that in your manifesto, you say you will do this, you say you will do this, say you will do this. They now say, I put up for the manifesto. When? Who's that right now? When?
Where is this in the manifesto? Are you sure that this is around the manifesto?
So I said all of that to say this now. The reason why people don't stay motivated is that there is a big chasm between their desire and the actions. That is where the problem is. I revisited my goal every day until I got it. Before I bought my house, I wrote the goal down every day until I paid for the house, the last couple. I am like that. Many people, and after all, the goal, it was them that wrote it by themselves. Nobody wrote it for you. That means it is important to you. So really, some people don't really want to achieve what they wrote. They are comfortable with where they are. Did you know that during the Second World War, they began to notice a phenomenon with soldiers? They will shoot themselves by the leg. They shoot their leg. They will carry gun and shoot their leg during the Second World War. Then they will not say it was an accidental discharge. Now the purpose of this, and once that happens, they will be treating them so that they will not send them to the front of the battle.
It is why.
Yes. Yeah, it happened a lot during the Second World War. Yes,
Wow.
yes, it happened a lot during the Second World War. And in some military settings, if they catch the person, it will be court-martial, or the person will even die. They'll kill the person. Now, is that not a metaphor for life, Kemi? A lot of people, metaphorically, they shoot themselves in the leg. What is the leg? They give you the excuse. Kemi, I don't have money. I don't have connection. I'm not motivated like you. I'm not that connected like you. They're shooting them because once that happens, that is the metaphor for the shooting on the leg, so that you have excused them. Come on, man, from attacking the battles of their life. My God, I'm taking something, man. This is dope. This is dope. This is dope. Yeah, they'll say, you know, they see the economy for our Buhari. This is what the Buhari they do. Now Buhari now. And the most sinister thing about our excuses is that they are valid. Very valid. I tell my 13-year-old son and my 9-year-old that are soccer players, it's winter, it's cold now. I say you have every excuse you want not to walk out. Yeah, it's valid. But the question is, does it serve you? Does it serve you? Does it serve you? So, the reason why people don't do that, number one, they don't execute. And execution must be in small chunks. It doesn't have to be big. Just take one step every single day, because it stacks up together. It doesn't have to be big. One step, make 2 sales calls every day. Satisfy your conscience. The good thing about human nature is that when it begins to stack up, you will be expanding your parameters of what is possible. That is the good thing about it. 2, many people don't remind themselves of the compelling reason why they are doing what they are doing. That's another thing. I have my own compelling reason. So that drives the shit out of me, man. It drives the shit out of me, man. So you gotta find that. You've got to find that reason and keeps you going. Next, play an infinite game, not a finite game. Now let me explain this. Every finite game has an end. You start at A, it ends at B. You set a goal, you must achieve the goal. But when you're playing an infinite game doesn't have an end. I'm a writer. I've written 100 and if you add the Forbes articles, I've written 115 articles this year. If there are 52 weeks in a year, so I've written every week times 2 throughout this year. Now, I'm playing an infinite game with writing. There's no end game. For infinite game, you just get better every day. There's no end game of becoming a great father. It's an infinite game. Because it's your idea. There's no end game of becoming a great and better every day. Did you get that? So most people play finite games. So when they achieve a little bit of their goal, just go back to their default states. That's it. That's it. Then I write them down every day. Every day. These are those small ones. Every day I write it down because there's something about repetition that wires the neurology of the brain. Many people underestimate the power of have a deep understanding of our makeup. Of your makeup and my makeup. That it is through repetition that mastery is built. That is the truth. That is 2 times 1, 2. 2 times 1, 2. 2 times 3, 3. That's how they taught us. So people read their goal once a year, and you're surprised why it didn't happen. It won't happen. It won't happen. It won't. Because even the spirit of the goal knows the spirit of the goal committed to it. The person is not committed to it.
Whoa! Right. There's a huge disconnect. Even the goal knows you don't want it.
Yes, the spirit of the goal knows. Yes, the spirit of the goal knows. This class I don't know about this your company. Anytime I come to LeaderX, I always tell like that. The last lady interviewed me. I'm channeling something. I don't speak like this in other places. I don't know. It's something. I don't know. I'm going to interview you for my podcast. Tell me a date I have free this week. Tell me a date I have free this week. My podcast is the 50th podcast in the world right now. On Spotify. Yeah, massive podcast.
I look forward. I
just interviewed them. Oluwatosin Oderi. Or Lasha of Anlada.
I look forward. I'm
interviewing Lekki Ajayi in January. She sold the house for 1.5 billion naira for 48 hours.
Amazing. Truly, Paul, a lot of things can happen, truly, if people are able to, be attuned to the right mindset. Like you have said, it starts from the mind, right? You have spoken about those tools that you have implemented. And guys, it's not just enough for you to listen to this and then put it as part of your self-esteem, right? You can see the books behind Paul. You can see the books on my shelf. They're not just there for decoration. So do not put the lessons from this session and then put it on your shelf just for decoration. You want to turn these insights into action and start running with it. Truly, it is possible. It is possible for you to make explosive sales into the new year, and it is possible for you to make it a lifestyle. I absolutely believe in marginal improvement, Paul. And that's one of the reasons why we founded LeaderX, because we realized that a lot of people, truly want to improve themselves. They want to become better, but then, there was a challenge of time. People will say, oh, I don't have enough time, and then, I don't have enough money, or people don't even know where to start from. So we said, you know what, rather than waiting to have 1 hour to develop yourself every day, with as little as 5 to 10 minutes commitment every day, you are most likely to, achieve your goals, and not doing anything or waiting for you to have the 50 hours that you wish to have. Which is why we founded LeaderX to help.
People are asking for this. People are asking for this. Go and download the LeaderX app. Download the app. Download the app.
Honestly,
you're gonna get it, man. You're gonna get it, man.
Yeah. And it's available on iOS, and it's also available on the Google Play.
Android,
Yes. So building those little things, like you said, it's not the big things that we do at once. Those little things. Make 2 calls a day. Make 2 calls a day. Write 50 words a day. Write 100 words a day. You're more guaranteed of success than someone who says, oh, I want 6-pack and the banging body. You now go to the gym once in a month, and then who is deceiving who, right? Or then you're exciting once in a month. You're just deceiving yourself. So truly, marginal improvement will make all the difference. And Paul, I am so glad. There's truly a very deep connection, with LeaderX and Paul Fo, that even we can.
I'm not bamboozling. Another space with this company. I don't know why. With this company, I don't know why. Even that example of the Second World War, when the soldiers shoot themselves. Powerful metaphor. That's a very powerful metaphor. Because psychologically, so that you don't question them again, or why they are not living their dreams.
Wow.
You say she just happened to her now. Just happened to her now. That's what she go through. That's what she go through.
Like seriously, Paul. Yeah. It's always amazing. So I listened to the first session because unfortunately I couldn't join, and it's so powerful how these concepts can transform lives, right? These concepts can totally transform lives. So guys, there's so much learning already from today. Please, go.
So guys, all of you that download the LeaderX app right now, I'll give you a free copy of my book. I'll give you a free copy of my book. Selling to anyone right now. Send me a DM right now. Send me a DM. I'll give you the book immediately. I'll give you the book immediately. I want all of you. I want all of you to my DM and say, come to my DM, download it. See, download it. I send the book on the DM. Who's gonna take me on my word?
Wow, take me on my word. This is really amazing. Thank you so much, guys. So I don't know what extra motivation you need though to realize seriously. You get copies of Paul's book, so go download LeaderX now. Find it on your Cherry African Success. Doing it now. Do it though. Do it. You don't have any excuse. So do the download the app and then send the screenshot to Paul, and then he would respond to you. So Paul, how is our sponsorship going? Right? Who is
going well? But I going well. But I think can I just speak
we should do that, right?
Yeah, let's just do that now. Yeah, I like this Cherry Africa. Be very active. Let's keep our one.
Okay.
Let's keep our one. Cherry Africa. And then who else wants scholarship to be my newsletter? To be my newsletter. This Cherry Africa is good. I like this guy's comment. This is Joe Sparks.
Wow, amazing. So let me show you what you just got.
Cherry Africa got a scholarship. Joe Sparks got a scholarship. So guys, send me a DM.
Wow, amazing, guys. Congratulations. So LeaderX in partnership.
Put you guys on Instagram. Put your handles.
Thank you so much. So LeaderX in partnership with Paul Fo and Sales Factory is sponsoring 2 people to join his mailing list.
And they gave me 1 year sponsorship.
Give me 1 year.
1 year, right? And this is what $80. $80 each. Right?
Yes.
And this sponsorship has been done on behalf of, Leader X. Leader X is sponsoring you to be on Paul Foles' letters, his newsletters.
Yes.
Now, guess what?
Yes.
You would have a year access to mentorship.
Yes.
You would have access to, calls with him, I think every 2 months, right? They have access to you every 2 months.
Yes.
So, you guys are onto something big, right? So, Cherry's Africa store, congratulations.
I like the Cherry.
I like it.
It's amazing, right?
Very active. I like it.
And then Just Pack, Just Pack, we should come and see the code in Calvary, right? Earlier on. So, with this sponsorship and,
You know him.
No. So I think he put a message up there that, hey, when we're talking about the code in the UK, right? He said, come to Calvary and come and see snow, come and see code. So he's already won this, and a big congratulations. So what you guys need to do, make sure you download the Leader X app, send it to Paul, and you'd have access to his mailing list. And guys, I'm glad that Cherry Africa Store is it looks like a business account already, So Cherry's Africa Store, we are truly excited that you're getting this. We cannot wait to hear how much of an impact, you're able to have in your business as a result of this sponsorship, this scholarship, and the learnings and lessons that you'll be having all through 2023 from Paul Foles. Paul, you are absolutely amazing. Really, I celebrate you so much. And I'm so glad that we're going into so much more. We look forward to partnering a whole lot more with you. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for the energy, the zeal, the enthusiasm that you bring, the transformation and the results that you're bringing to people's lives. So this is really amazing. Thank you for the gift, of your book too. I said, I can't thank you. I can go on and on and on. But so that we can go
I believe in what you're doing.
I truly do.
Thank you so much, Paul.
So please let me know when we can schedule
before Christmas.
Okay.
So that we will release that. The podcast is doing so well that an American company has started podcast.
Advertising in my podcast.
It's doing very well. So
amazing.
Most of my listeners are in the UK.
Most of my listeners
America,
are in the UK,
Canada,
Canada, and Nigeria.
It's growing really fast.
It's growing really fast.
Amazing. I absolutely
doing
look
well.
forward. So right
Well
after
done.
this session,
Well
I'll send a message.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'll message you.
Yeah, that's
Send
what
your
I said.
calendar when you're free
Just
this
send
week.
your calendar when
I'll
you're free
send
this
you a
week.
Zoom link.
I'll send you a
When you're
Zoom
free
link.
in a quiet place, we do
When
it.
you're free in a quiet place, we do it, and
Fantastic.
then I'll
I
upload
look
it.
forward to that, Paul. Thank you so
thank you.
much.
All right, thank you.
Congratulations, Cherry's Africa, and then congratulations to
Cherry's Africa, and
Cherry's
then
Africa,
guys,
and then
message me
just
now.
Okay.
I'll sort you guys out tomorrow.
I'll sort you guys
Let me
out
go and
tomorrow.
rest. Sort you guys out
Let me go
tomorrow.
and rest.
All right,
Sort
all
you guys out
right. Thank you
tomorrow.
so much, everyone, for joining in. Turn your
Thank you.
insights
Thank
into
you.
action. Paul, I look
Jemmy.
forward to seeing you soon again on your podcast.
Yeah.
Have a lovely
Yeah.
evening. Have a beautiful
Yeah.
week ahead. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.